Hello, this is your favorite math coach, Latrell Jackson of KnowledgeOverGrades.net, and today we're going to be talking about the greatest common factors. So what we're going to do is first define the term greatest common factors, starting with the last word, the word factors. I like to relate my math terms to real life situations as much as I can, and when I think of the word factors, it reminds me of a situation that could happen that was the result of many factors being, or many factors that happened that led up to this situation. For instance, a car accident. Um, a car accident can be caused by someone speeding, someone running a red light, someone texting, someone not paying attention. All these different things are factors that could have gone into an accident. So when we think of the accident or the situation, it was broken down or divided into factors. So that gives us um, a baseline for us to go on, something we can relate to, and define factors in mathematical terms. So the definition of a factor is an integer that precisely divides another integer into equal parts. So let's say we have the number 18. When we think of 18, we can divide 18 by 3 and get 6. So 6 is a factor of 18. Also, we can divide 18 by 6 and get 3. So that shows that 3 is also a factor of 18 along with 6. And when we do the reverse multiplication, 3 times 6 equals 18. So we're able to see the factors here in multiplication equaling 18. So one thing we need to note is that when we are finding factors of a number, they have to be integers. So for finding a factor of an integer, it has to be an integer as well. So the question is, what if we were just given 18 and told to find the factors of 18? Well, just like in our definition, we would need to divide 18 by numbers 1 through 18 in order to find the factors of 18. So let's try that. We know two of them, 3 and 6, but what about the others? So we can start with 1. 18 divided by 1, we know that's 18. So 18 is an integer, so we can say, yes, that is a factor. How about 2? 18 divided by 2 equals 9. Yep, that's an integer, so that's a factor. How about 3? Well, we just did that. 18 divided by 3 is 6. How about 4? 18 divided by 4 is 4.5. That's not an integer. Well, that's not an integer, so that's not a factor of 18. How about 5? 18 divided by 5 is 3.6. That's not a factor. 18 divided by 6, well, we know that's 3. We just did that. 18 divided by 7, that is 2.75. That's not a factor because it's a decimal, which is not an integer. 18 divided by 8, that is 2.25. Another one that's not an integer, which is not a factor. 18 divided by 9, that is going to be 2. We had 18 divided by 2 up here, which equals 9. We can do the converse. 18 divided by 9 is 2. 2 is a factor. 18 divided by 10 is 1.8. That's not a factor. 18 divided by 11 is 1.63. Nope, not a factor. 18 divided by 12, that is 1.5, not a factor. 18 divided by 13, That is 1.38. Nope, not a factor. 18 divided by 6, why did I say 16? 14 is 1.29. Not a factor. 18 divided by 15 is 1.2. Not a factor. 18 divided by 16, that is 1.125. Another one that's not a factor, almost there. 18 divided by 17, that is 1.06. Nope. And 18 divided by 18, that equals 1. Yes, that's an integer, so that's a factor. So we went from 1 through 18 to find out which one of these are factors. We have to divide 18 by numbers less than 18 because the factors are going to be less than 18. Because when we divide 18, we're dividing 18 into numbers that are smaller than what it is. We went through the numbers 1 through 18 because we need to see how you go about finding what the factors are. And when you are comfortable knowing your multiplication facts and your division facts, you're able to easily come up with the factors of 18 or any other number. But since we did it this way, you're able to see which ones are factors and which ones aren't factors. And then you can strengthen your multiplication and division skills so that you won't have to go through this step every time. But we got our factors, and let's list them out. So factors of 18 are 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, and 18. Yep. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 factors of 18. Great, we found our factors. Now, the next part comes where we need to find common factors. And when we are finding something that's in common, we're usually comparing 2 or more numbers or things together. So we have to pick another number. Let's choose 12. Now, I'm not going to list out all the numbers that we can divide 12 by, 1 through 12, because I know the factors of 12. And this makes it a lot quicker so that we can move on to finding the common factors of 12 and 18. So for 12, we have, I'm going to list the multiplication. So we have 1 times 12, 2 times 6, and 3 times 4. So all of these numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12, are all factors of 12. And we can list them out like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. Okay, now the last word, so we found common. The last word we want to find or we want to identify is the greatest. The greatest common factors of 12 and 18. So that's the number, the biggest number they have in common. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, they have all those in common. They got 6 in common. 9 they don't, and 18 they don't, and 12 they don't have in common. So that means that 6 is the greatest common factor out of 18 and 12. So we can say GCF of 12 and 18 equals 6. And I think that was the answer for our least common multiples too. Cool. If you have any questions, please send me an email, and I'm going to leave you with a practice problem to find the greatest common factors of 16 and 20. So I'm leaving you with these two numbers to find the greatest common factor of, which will be included on the study kit linked in the description, where 4 other pairs of numbers will be provided for you to find the greatest common factor of, along with a link to a quiz that you can actually enter your answers in and see if they're right or wrong. Get the results right there. So go ahead and click the link in the description so you can start practicing and strengthening your skills in finding greatest common factors of numbers.